Level 1. It's Friday night. The party is great, the music is loud, and you've had just enough to drink to feel brave. You're on the couch, watching everyone have a good time, when a guy sits down next to you and pulls out a cigarette. He lights it up, takes a hit, and asks, "Bro, you wanna try?" You've never touched the stuff. You know better. So you say, "Appreciate it, but I'm good." Then he hits you with it. "Come on, just one. Everyone here smokes cigarettes. It's normal. You trying to be better than us?" And now it's not about the cigarette anymore. It's about not being the lame one. So you take it. The first puff, absolute trash. You're coughing your lungs out, handing it straight back. People actually pay money for this? Why? Well, the answer comes faster than expected, because about 10 seconds later, your shoulders drop and a warm, relaxed feeling spreads through your chest. That's the nicotine hitting your system and dumping dopamine. A few days pass and you're sitting bored at your desk. Nothing is actually wrong, yet the world feels a little dull. But where does this feeling come from? Well, it's not boredom. It's your first ever craving, small and almost invisible. And somehow, your body already knows exactly what fixes it. Level 2. You're outside with a few friends when one of them pulls something out of his pocket. It's not a cigarette this time, but something smaller, cleaner, more like a tech accessory than something you find in an ashtray. A vape. He holds it in your direction. "Here, try this." You hesitate for a second. "What is it?" "Just try it. It's nothing like a cigarette. Trust me." And honestly, part of you was already curious before he even finished the sentence. The packaging claims it tastes like blueberry lemonade. Good enough reason for you, so you go for it. And yes, he was right. It's smoother, and you don't have to cough at all. But here's the catch. The moment the nicotine hits, your shoulders drop, the background noise in your head quiets down, and something just settles. Again. Your brain recognizes this. It's been waiting for it since the last party. A few hours later, you're back home, lying in your bed thinking, it would just be really chill to have a vape right now. And this time, the craving hits differently. It's not that faint, dull feeling from before. This one actually demands to be filled. But you don't act on the craving. You have rules. You only use it when you're out with friends, which means you aren't a smoker, you're a borrower. That's a completely different thing, obviously. But without really meaning to, you've slowly started building new habits. You know which friends always carry a vape or who just switched to a new flavor. It happened gradually, one small observation at a time. And when someone calls you an addict, yeah, you just laugh it off. "I don't even own one, bro. How does that make me addicted?" Level 3. Asking your friends to hit their vape over and over again is getting awkward. You're tired of being that annoying guy. So the decision makes itself. You walk into your local shop and pick up your first ever own vape, flavored like strawberry ice. But why strawberry ice? Well, because in your head, as long as it tastes like fruit, you still aren't a smoker. Smokers have yellow teeth and smell like old trash. You just enjoy flavored air. Basically, a healthy habit. Yeah. But that new, healthy habit seems to completely take over in the next few days. And the rules you swore you'd never break slowly disappear one by one. Since it doesn't smell, you use it everywhere. Whether scrolling TikTok or playing Elden Ring. No matter if you're in a loading screen, a cut screen, or respawn for the 34th time. Other than that, your morning routine changed completely. And now you can't imagine your coffee without a few hits from your vape beforehand. That's just non-negotiable at this point. And then, new fears start creeping in. What if I'm stuck in a traffic jam without it? Well, let's just say it wouldn't be great for your mood. By now, you've basically stopped using it for socializing. The vape just follows you wherever you go. Here's what actually shifted. You don't vape to feel good anymore. You do it just to feel normal. And when you go a few hours without it, you're annoyed, short-tempered, and restless in a way that's hard to explain. The first thoughts of quitting show up around here. You're confident you could stop any day if you really wanted to. But right now, yeah, the timing just isn't right. Level 4. At some point, you stop pretending this was just a hobby, and you're emptying vapes faster than you used to. One hit just doesn't quite land in the way it did when you started. So, you need a solution. You upgrade. No more tiny vapes that die every other day. So you buy a 10,000 puff brick. The logic is airtight. It saves you money and time you would otherwise waste driving to your local shop over and over again. It's just a smarter option. But here's the real twist. Somewhere along the way, you started buying cigarette packs too. And you have a perfectly reasonable explanation. It's just for the aesthetic at the bar. But in reality, you're dual wielding. The vape handles the sneaky indoor odors, and the cigarettes are for when you need something heavier. You carry both without thinking twice. But it doesn't end here. You're always backed up by a pack of strong gum, because the last thing you need is your crush catching a whiff of an old chimney. And when you go too long without your new friend, well, your body makes sure you know about it. See, you get that tight feeling in your chest, and the mood swings make you want to fight a wall. That's just your brain signaling, pay the rent or I'm cutting the power. The scary part is that you don't even feel the nicotine anymore. You're just trying to avoid a crash out. Level 5. At this point, you've hit a wall. Even with the vapes and the cigarettes, something feels like it's missing. That's when nicotine pouches enter the picture. And they don't just show up quietly, because your favorite influencer is literally praising them as the cleaner alternative. And your feed is full of guys stacking Zins like it's a personality trait. So it makes you think, okay, why not? No smoke, no smell, just a small pouch you tuck under your lip. But here's the reality. You aren't cutting back. Your usage is actually skyrocketing. See, now you've filled every single gap in your day with nicotine. You have a car vape, a desk vape, and yes, even a toilet vape. Other than that, you're always chewing on something. Or you're that guy who checks if a restaurant has outdoor seating before looking at the menu. And if not, you've already scoped out the nearest exit before you've even sat down. Why? Well, the after-lunch cigarette is a fixed part of your routine now. But here's what's actually happening. The nicotine hijacks your executive function. That's the logic center of your brain, responsible for planning. Now your whole day revolves around your addiction. And you have even created new routines, such as the Zyn before bedtime or the cigarette break timed perfectly between meetings. Also, it's part of your monthly budget, just like your rent or your phone bill. But it's still manageable, and you don't have to calculate. And what happens if you want to stop? Well, your whole system doesn't just feel bad, it stops working. Level 6. You're slowly getting tired of it. Not in a way that makes you stop, just in a way that sits there quietly. You didn't sign up for 3 products and a mental inventory check every time you leave the house. But here you are. And the worst part, the honesty about your use is getting a bit questionable. When people ask you, the answers are always the same. Oh, I don't really smoke anymore. I just vape. Or, I'm basically just a Zyn guy now. Technically, you're not lying in that exact second. But you're definitely forgetting to mention the vape on your nightstand, the tin in your desk, and that emergency pack of smokes hidden in your jacket. See, when the craving hits, so basically every 15 minutes, you don't even choose what to use anymore. Your hand just does an auto grab for whatever is closest. It's basically a magnet, and nicotine is the only metal in the room. There's a version of you that would have found this embarrassing. You remember being the guy at the party who handed the cigarette straight back after one puff thinking, how does anyone do this? Now, you're running 3 different nicotine products and doing math to hide it from yourself. Anyways, that was a different person, and you're not sure when the switch happened. Level 7. At this point, if someone asks you when you started, you have to pause and think. That one hit at the party feels like a movie you watched years ago. Now, you can even remember a day when you woke up and the vape wasn't the first thing you grabbed. It became your identity, the reward after every task, the way you deal with a bad day, and the way you celebrate a good one. And the weird part? If money gets tight, nicotine still makes the budget. You'll skip snacks, skip a taxi, skip something you actually need. But the The cigarettes, the pouches, those stay. And you don't even register it as a decision. You also start noticing something strange about your social life. Sometimes you don't meet friends to hang out. You meet friends just to feed your addiction with an excuse. Two people standing outside a bar in the cold, pretending the conversation is the reason they're there. Your sleep is getting worse too. Yes, you really wake up in the middle of the night craving nicotine. Your patience is gone. Your bank account keeps taking a monthly beating. And when you run out, it's not just a craving. It's a full system crash. Suddenly, everything is annoying. The elevator is too slow, the fries are cold, and someone chewing too loudly feels like a personal attack. By now, you know it's messing you up. You've known for a while, actually. You even tried quitting a few times. One attempt lasted a day, another even 3 days. But the results were always the same. The food tasted weird. Nothing felt exciting. Even the promotion at your job felt like nothing happened. So, there was only one option. Following old routines again and maybe try another quitting attempt later. But somewhere deep down, there's still a tiny voice in your head. It's curious about the person you used to be. The version of you who didn't need a glowing plastic pacifier just to survive a Monday morning. The voice is small, but it's still there. Anyway, it's Friday night. You're at a party. A drunk guy walks up to you. He says he normally doesn't smoke, but with alcohol, it's an exception. He asks you for a cigarette. You hesitate for a second. Then, you give him one. And just like that, the cycle might start again.